U.S. base in Qatar. This was followed by Donald Trump announcing a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Iran then fired up to 19 ballistic missiles at the U.S. Military base in Qatar. However, this was Iran's retaliation, remember, for the U.S. strike. In fact, they called it 6 for 6 on its nuclear facilities. However, almost all the missiles were intercepted by the U.S. and the Qatari defense systems. There were no casualties which were reported, and also it is being said that U.S. had already evacuated the entire military base in Qatar. So what is raising eyebrows here is that Iran had apparently given advance notice to the strike to Qatar. Qatar, of course, is the brother state of Iran. Of course, immediately after this strike had happened, Qatar came out, condemned the attack as a violation of its sovereignty. However, it did, interestingly, acknowledge that the warning helped minimize the risk. Within hours of the attack, President Trump reacted. He called Iran's strike, to quote, a very weak response, and even announced that Israel and Iran had agreed to a complete and total ceasefire. Well, President Trump has declared that the 12-day war that had threatened to destabilize the entire region is now ending. Well, Trump announces a total ceasefire, but right after that, there is also, interestingly, where he had put out saying, congratulations to everyone, it's been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and have completed their in-progress final missions. Quote, he put this in brackets. Also, he said, for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended officially. Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, it's an official end to the 12-day war. It will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, he writes, on the other side, there will remain peaceful and respectful towards the other. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both the countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage and intelligence to end what should have been the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. Trump goes on to say, God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. Well, this was the latest post which came in from President Trump. Well, with that, there's more breaking news which is coming in. Well, hours after Donald Trump claimed a complete and total ceasefire between Israel and Iran, tensions have flared once again. A ballistic missile fired from Iran has struck Israel's Beersheba region, killing 3 civilians. In fact, Times Now's Priyank Tripathi is there in Beersheba. He's tracking the developments very closely as well, getting us minute-by-minute updates. Let me go across to him. I believe Priyank is joining us live. Priyank, I really hope you are safe. Give us a sense of what's happening on the ground. Right after the truce, right after the ceasefire, we still have more shelling as well as ballistic missiles being fired at Beersheba. Well, of course, understandably, Priyank has some network issues. It is in the midst of a war zone. Remember, this is the area, Beersheba, where Iran has struck once again. This is one of Israel's neighborhood, and this is a civilian area. And this apparently has led to the death of 3 civilians. That's the preliminary information we are trying to get across to Priyank and get more details from him. Remember, he's right there in Beersheba. We hope that he's safe, and he was there when the missiles were rained by Iran, despite the fact that there was announcement of a ceasefire. Let me go across to Rishabh, who's joining us with more details. Rishabh, you must decode what exactly it is that President Trump has announced. He says that there is going to be a ceasefire, but the entire process will take 24 hours. We are, of course, in India's time zone. You must break it down for us. When do we expect the missions to end for Israel, for the mission of Iran to end, and finally, when will this 12-day war end?
Well, learning from what happened between India and Pakistan, Donald Trump right now has decided to go on a phased manner of ceasefire. First, the ceasefire will be announced. Then, in next 2 hours, Israel will cease all its hostilities. Iran will not respond or retaliate to any of the hostilities of Israel in coming hours, and then 12 hours or so the ceasefire will be implemented. Now the ceasefire has been put into effect, and Donald Trump said do not violate it. Both the sides should restrain from any hostilities from now on is what we are given to understand. If we talk about what's happening right now, Israel has agreed to it. Iranian Foreign Minister has also agreed to it with certain conditions right now. See, both Iran and Israel, the conflict hasn't begun yesterday or 12 days ago. It is a century, almost half a century long conflict between the two sides since the Islamic Revolution has taken place in Iran. Iran has been swearing to destroy Israel. Israel sees Iran as one of the biggest enemies in the region. In last 12 days, we have seen exchange of ballistic missiles from both the sides, airstrikes from both the sides. Qatar also came into impact because of the U.S. base last night. Airspaces throughout the Middle East or the West Asia was suspended for some time. Now things are limping back to normal, and now Israel and Iran both have agreed with conditions to ceasefire. Israel says that we agree to ceasefire. We thank Donald Trump for clearing the nuclear threat of Iran, but we will retaliate forcefully if things don't go as planned. Iran, on the similar lines, have said that we are okay with the ceasefire, but if we are attacked, we will respond very forcefully. So both the sides have agreed to it, but with conditions implied. So it remains to be seen how things unfold in next 3 to 4 hours. Meghna, we have been talking since morning. Like in next 3 to 4 hours, we'll see whether this quote-unquote 12-day war, as Donald Trump calls it, has come to an end, or was it momentary pause and things might go haywire again.
So we are hoping that things will not go haywire again. We have seen the last time when President Trump decided to announce that there's a ceasefire between two nations, what really happened, where we are hoping that at least here we are going to have some semblance of a ceasefire, forever truce, as Trump calls it. But with that, there is more breaking news which is coming in. Well, there is another. After Iran has denied that there is any such understanding of a ceasefire, Trump says the ceasefire is now in effect. In fact, we have yet another post which is coming in from President Trump. You have that on your screens as well. The ceasefire is now in effect. Please do not violate it. Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States. So he's put out his name and designation at the end of his post as well. But the messaging is very clear. Let me go across to Rishabh. Rishabh, it is a statement that the ceasefire is now in effect. He puts his name as well as his designation to the post that he, of course, has put out from his own personal handle. But then what is interesting is essentially more than a statement, this is a warning, isn't it?
Well, definitely, this is a warning. This is a warning to Iran. More than Israel, it is a warning to Iran. That ceasefire has been implemented. Do not violate it. U.S. do understand that Israel will do whatever they have to do in consideration with what U.S. says or what U.S. feels or believes. Iran, on the other hand, is an adversary and might act against the will of the United States. And that's the reason that this whole post that has come on social media platform Truce, it says that the ceasefire is in effect. Do not violate it. Donald J. Trump, you President of the United States of America. In a very clear manner, it indicates that it is the President of the United States saying do not violate ceasefire. And this is not going to Tel Aviv. This is a message to Tehran, actually, because Donald Trump do understand that Bibi Netanyahu will not do anything without consulting him. And hence, it is now on Iran to actually go ahead with ceasefire. Israel might agree to ceasefire given that the United States wants it, but whether Tehran will agree to it or not is something that is very, very, unclear right now. And to have
Since we are talking about Tehran, do stay on with us. Do stay on with us. There's big breaking news which is coming in. We are discussing Israel right now. So this is the next breaking news that we are getting for our viewers. Israel has officially announced ceasefire with Iran as well. Well, as per the Jerusalem Post, they put out a post where they have said that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced Tuesday morning that Israel has agreed to a U.S. brokered ceasefire with Iran, saying that the war goals have been achieved. So this is huge. You have Netanyahu being quoted by the Jerusalem Post as having saying that the war goals have been achieved, and U.S. has brokered a ceasefire with Iran, saying that the war goals have been achieved. This is huge. Let me go across to Rishabh. Rishabh, if the Jerusalem Post is to be believed, Netanyahu himself has come out, Bibi as he's called, himself has come out and made this announcement that it is going to be ceasefire with Iran. So that gives some semblance of hope at least.
Well, Meghna, Times Now independently confirmed this, that yes, Prime Minister of Israel Benjamin Netanyahu has spoken to reporters without camera in his office in Jerusalem, and has said that we have agreed to the ceasefire as proposed by United States, and we thank Donald Trump, the United States President, for neutralizing the Iranian nuclear threat. This is what Benjamin Netanyahu have told reporters in Jerusalem. We are expecting an address to nation by the Israeli Prime Minister anytime now, is what we are given to understand. In coming few minutes to an hour or so, we'll have Benjamin Netanyahu coming in front of cameras and announcing formally the new ceasefire that has been brokered by United States. Netanyahu also went on to say that Israel has achieved beyond the goals it had set before launching this operation against Iran. So Israel right now looks comfortable. Israel right now looks confident that they have achieved what they wanted to when this operation began, and hence now they are okay with the ceasefire. Whether Tehran will agree to it or not.
Sorry to interrupt you. Stay with us. Stay with us. Let me go across to Priyank. He is there in Beersheba, of course, where it is being reported by the IDF that they have been striking, that Iran has been striking civilian areas in Beersheba, and also where 3 civilians have been killed. Priyank is right there. Priyank, I really hope you are safe. We can see massive amounts of destruction right behind you. Give us a sense of what's happening there.
Yes, certainly, Meghna, it is certainly a massive destruction which has been caused by the Iranian forces because of the ballistic missile attack. You can see there was some technical issues, so we are going back to the live visuals, and you can see members are high-rise building which could be around 8-floor building which was hit by the Iranian missiles. So the civilian target is certainly something which is creating massive loss of life. What we have got confirmation from the Israeli police that 4 people have lost their life. But the kind of destruction which can be seen here on the ground is very horrific. You can see any vehicle which came under the impact of this blast has been badly damaged. There have been vehicles which were parked right here has also been damaged. If you go further, certainly the kind of destruction which you can see behind me is more massive than what I'll show you just now. Look at the visuals, Meghna. It is very horrific. The rescue team members are still there. There have been 4 people who have been evacuated from the location. This neighborhood was considered to be a very peaceful neighborhood. But looking at the kind of impact of the blast which has happened here, certainly things have changed over the period of last few hours. The senior officials are certainly here. They have been trying to assess the ground situation. But what the defense spokesperson of the Israeli police has told it to the Times at work that it was a very barbaric attempt to attack on the normal civilians, normal civilization. And what they have also been saying that this kind of attacks will not be tolerated. Wherever you can see behind me can be seen as an impact of the blast which has happened, the ballistic missiles which were launched from the Iranian side, which finally landed here. There have been several attempts which were made by the Iranians also, which was also destroyed by the air defense system of Israel. But in the visuals behind me, certainly you can see, Meghna, because I'll be keeping you on the visuals only because these are the exclusive visuals on any Indian TV channel, the first English channel, Times Now, which has managed to come here on the ground, where we are showing you the live visuals of the impact of the ballistic missile which hit here. What Israeli spokespersons have also been told, have also told it to the Times Network that they could see that there were family members, children, everyone who was sleeping here, and suddenly the siren went off, and they went on, and they finally came to know that the area has been hit very badly by these ballistic missiles. Just a short while back, Meghna, I was talking to the spokesperson of the Israeli police. We can also play out the TT where they have been saying that the death figure has gone up to 4. The total number of death casualty is 4. It is not even here what we can see that the damage can be seen, but it's everywhere around wherever we are going. So I'll try to go further and I'll try to show you that till what extent the damage has been done because of the impact of the missile which came towards this side. Here you can see every vehicle which came under this particular impact has been totally damaged. And not even that, those houses which were around 100 meters away from each other, they have also seen this kind of impact of the blast which has taken life of so many people. 4 people have lost their life in this unfortunate incident, the kind of missile attack which came. But what we have to see is that what could have been the claim of President Donald Trump is not standing true on the ground. Since morning, there in Tel Aviv, we could see that there have been series of sirens which were heard. There were multiple sirens which were heard. The sounds of the siren was totally multiple times. There were 4 times where we could hear the siren sound there in Tel Aviv. And once we have come here in Beersheba, which is 100 kilometers away from the capital city of Israel, the kind of massive destruction, the visuals of destruction which has been done in the civilian area is certainly very serious. Yesterday we were there at the location where one of the power station was also hit. It had disrupted the supply of power, but fortunately there was no casualty which was reported on that particular location, Meghna. But here in the visuals, what we can show you that the rescue team members are still here. The kind of destruction which has happened here is certainly very massive. This is considered to be the most badly affected site or spot here in this country of Israel since the time this Israel-Iran war has started once again since 13th of this month. We were at the location where one of the old shelter home was also hit. We were there at several other locations, at the power station also. But the kind of massive impact which I'm watching here right in front of me, which I'm also trying to show you to our viewers, the kind of impact which it has created, the kind of damage which it has created is very, very serious in nature. Everywhere you go, everywhere around, because this is not a country which does not believe in cleanliness. They are the ones who always go for cleaning the roads, everything. Every vehicle, dozens and hundreds of vehicles have also got damage because of the impact. You can imagine the kind of trauma these people would have faced. Earlier, we have seen that the kind of small missile fire which used to happen from the Hezbollah side were taken into care by the Iron Domes, but certainly these kind of ballistic missiles are difficult to be controlled. Visuals of destruction right on the TV screen, only for the viewers of Times Now, where they can see that the manner in which claims were made that the ceasefire has happened, it is actually not standing true on the ground. Back to you in the studio, Meghna.
Well, I really hope, Priyank, that you are going to stay safe. Please do run for cover. Do go for the bunkers in case you hear sirens like you did yesterday as well. We hope you remain safe. Well, this is the truth on the ground. Yes, on Truth Social, you have President Trump, who's announced that ceasefire has happened, and now onwards, don't you dare break that truce. But on the ground, we can see the extent of destruction. All we can hope is that this is going to be the end of it. Look at the way that buildings have come crumbling down. They have been razed to ash. Our cars, our vehicles have been left into a mangled mess of metal after ballistic missiles struck Beersheba in Israel. This is the extent of destruction that Israel has seen, remember, by Iran's ballistic missiles hours after President Trump said ceasefire has been declared. He, of course, has said that there is going to be 6 hours of mission completion by Iran, followed by another 6 hours of mission completion by Israel. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but this is the truth on the ground. So you, the viewer, decide. With that, a short break. Don't go anywhere.